shame for putting the recording on with the there. I was a software engineer, sort of graduated in a degree in computing. I was a software engineer for 7 years. I then thought, oh, I want to do something different with life. So I became a proper ICT secondary school teacher, did a PGCE, everything. And that's where I sort of started off getting to Moodle and stuff like that. I've now stopped teaching and now did a master's in computing. And now sort of looking for work, doing bits and bobs, doing a part-time work, but I'm still maintaining Collapse Topic because I'm sort of really passionate about something that's really worthwhile for the global community, which isn't finance, it isn't defense, it isn't stuff that does nasty stuff. It's something that's good and it's positive. Okay, let's go to the presentation itself and what I'm going to cover. So your screen will flick a little bit, like so. And I'm just going to hopefully start my webcam. You'll see me start sharing. Hello, right there. Whoops, that's the wrong slide. That was all the way from cover. Go to the beginning. Got the iMoot logo on the pole there. Okay, what I will do, because I'm just a box standard UK ADSL connection, is I will stop my webcam in a minute and just use voice, and that'll sort of help with you and stuff like that. Okay, so but you get to see this is iMoot 2010 t-shirt, wonderful little logo, prized possession. Okay, let's stop there. Right, next, so first slide, this is going to cover. You see the introduction, why I thought about it, why it actually came about. I'm going to get a little bit technical, but I'll make it as easy, hopefully, as possible, and see how actually simple and straightforward it is for you. So about how to install it for the REME, tell you how to configure it, how to change the default configuration, talk a little bit how I developed it, the challenges I faced then, the challenges I face now, in fact, with things happening. Where to find help, not just for my format, but for other formats in general and other things that you develop. Where I see things going and where sort of things I think, not only with Collapse Topics, but in stuff. There's a make your own course format, time permitting. That's the one I've got screencast. There's a link on the iMoot database takes you straight to YouTube, and I think I uploaded it as well, so you can download it, and that's about 40 minutes long or something and covers exactly what I do. Then I got some sort of feedback and polls and questions, and I always love feedback. I don't mind if it's positive, negative, all feedback is good, and if you don't know something, it's always better to ask than not anything at all. Okay. Introduction, why? So this is Collapse Topics itself. It is all, in essence, just a way of shrinking to get rid of the scroll of death. You know, if I always thought that if the Romans had the scroll of death, they wouldn't have needed short swords and catapults and things like that. They could have stormed through Yeso with a scroll of death. It will kill absolutely everything. It is a bane of our existence. So I came up with Collapse Topics, and you can open them all, you can close them all, and all we do is you click on the toggle and it opens the section underneath. Open, closed, that sort of thing. There's an open all, closed all, and you can customize it, and I'll come on that a bit later. It does use cookies, and there's another story about that a bit later on, to remember the state of the toggle. So when you revisit the page, it will reopen them to the way you had before. It's designed currently up to about like 52 sections, which is an awful lot of sections, which is why you may want to use it. I think 2.3, 2.4, or even bits of Moodle 2 previous versions have more than those number of sections. Won't cope with that yet, but it will in the future. Okay, that's what it does. Next. Right, where it came from. It came from a real-world classroom requirement. I started work purely as an ICT teacher, teaching a classroom. I then became sort of an e-learning coordinator at the same time and responsible for implementing Moodle within my school. I was teaching a class, and it was sort of an ICT class, and I had different modules, and all the students were working in completely different modules and separate, and they sort of needed to see one section, but they needed to see. And this course was getting really, really long. I thought, well, do I use meta courses? No, that's going to even confuse the students even more, because then I've got to clear the whole thing of click here, click here, click here, click, and you're repeating the same thing over and over and over again. So, well, I thought, well, hang on a second. I've got the ability. I'm a software engineer. I know what there's a problem here to be solved. Aha! Inspiration. So I read a really good article in .NET magazine by a gentleman called Greg Granell. Tried out the demo, everything. Gave him an email, say, "Oh, can I use this in sort of GPL software? Can I use it?" Borrow it. Says, "Yeah, not a problem." Got his permission. Said, "Yeah, no way." So went off, looked at it, toggles. Oh, that works. That's brilliant. Got his permission and started making it. So started creating it. So sort of really straightforward. I wanted it really simple. Made it and started then to evolve it over time. Got feedback from my students, got feedback from other members of staff, got feedback from the Moodle community, what they thought about it. Started off not by using the database, purely as like a presentation type thing. I now spend most of my time maintaining it and a little bit evolving it. Sort of people's ideas, suggestions come on. I support people on the forums. Say, oh, would it be nice to do this and this? I think, oh, that will take a day, that will take half a day, or add in bits and bobs. So, but I mean, the key thing here, even though I'm a software engineer, I was thinking really with my teacher's sort of hat on and not being too schizophrenic, and think of, yes, here's a real thing that's needed. So I'm providing a solution that suits people, not a technical solution for the sake of a technical solution. Okay, right, 2. Thank you, Trish. This was the first one. Wow, I'm very impressed. Thank you, Trish. Okay, installation. I spent a lot of time on making the rewe file. Really detailed instructions there, but I'm going to go and demo that in a minute. I would certainly recommend, if you're uncertain, please try it on a test site first. You can I believe, download your own sort of portable Moodles that install. They install a memory stick. You can run them. I think just on the Moodle downloads, there's a sort of WAMP and a MAMP and a LAMP and all the different types of servers that you can run on your own machine. It is really important to remember the CLAPS topics only changes the presentation of the course, not the data you already have. So if you swap back to the topics format, then you'll have everything it is. It is just a purely like putting a different frame of window on the front of a house. The house is still there, the content is still there, you've just changed the outlook. A little bit like CSS with themes, but we'll come on to that later. It's self-contained, so even though it puts stuff in the database, it's got its own 2 tables which don't interrupt or have foreign keys to anything else, apart from maybe of course, but they won't impact on any other parts of the standard Moodle core, apart from maybe I think there's a thing called the standard plugin. It is available in different languages, and I really welcome people to add. I've got quite a few languages, and I'll come to those a bit later. If it's not in the language of your own, please send to me. I am a native English speaker. That's the main language I learnt. I did try learning French at school, but I think the last assessment I got 7%. So my brain is really sort of technical and not so language orientated. Right, demo of it. Hopefully this will work. So if I go to there, follows the screen's going to pop around a little bit. That should pop there, and if I do share my screen like so and get the desktop. Okay, I should be able to see chat. I've got a localhost Moodle. This is Moodle 2.2. I've got some pre-canned courses already set up. That's for the one later on. Got here, it's just currently in the topics format. Like so. Now, because it's on localhost, don't necessarily need to put it in maintenance mode. If you are installing it on a production system, definitely put it into maintenance mode. And that's easily done by the server, maintenance mode, and you can put it in like so. Let's do that quickly. Enable, save those changes like so. Okay. Here we goes. We get it from Moogle's plugins database listed there, and with any luck, with my machine going the way it is, there should be sort of different versions and download versions. You can get it from there. Okay, right. In the best editions, I've already got it. So this is the course format folder. So what you need to do is unzip the zip file. So extract all there. And if you get it from GitHub, you may have to do a bit of renaming of the extracted files. Okay, so go into there. I don't need that window. So there, we're going to cut that out of there, place that in the course format folder, get rid of that just containing folder. If it's not called Topcol or Topcol something else, please rename it to Topcol. In there, you will find a README which tells you how to do all of this, like so. And that was just as I mentioned, the README, the maintenance mode bit there, and the copy in the Topcol. You can obviously extract it into like my documents and copy the folder and go that way. Basic sort of straightforward file management. Okay, once it's in there, we then go back to the site. So, and just click on notifications. It's as straightforward as that. Like so, go to the plugins check. You click on upgrade. Like so, it will do what it needs to do, install itself, add in a couple of tables into the database. You click on continue, and it's there. With any luck, that's the bit of install. To use it, and go to a course. So pre-canned one, so we go to that one there. And what you will find is in the course settings, it now appears in the format box there. Previously you had the 4, now you've got 5. So we set that, save the changes. Like so, and it appears. And sort of with editing mode there, you've got a settings box there. We'll just take off maintenance mode because that's now the end of that. Okay, so that's all you need to do. The rest of the other changes we're going to make can be done out of maintenance mode because they're on a sort of a per course basis. Right, next slide to show you. So that is installing. Just pop back. Configuration. Okay, so user request inspired. Whoops, wrong button. Get the arrow in the right place. A lot of people on the forum said, oh, can it do this? Can it mean that I don't want the word topic showing, I don't want the word section number showing, I don't want the word toggle showing? And I said, well, no, what you need to do is go and you need to edit the words code. And I went, too scary, really scary. So I thought, hang on a second, must be no way of doing it. So added in the ability to set the layout of it, set the number of, not having section X, the toggle number, the toggle word, and so forth on there. And then I also thought I had another one called Claps Week. So I thought, well, what if I put the structure in as well? Because the code's really similar, and I want to make it easier for myself to cope with updates and things. So added a structure, and I also had another format called latest week first and current topic first, where it sort of alters the order of things. So I've put that in there. Then lady in, it might have been the Netherlands actually, asked for, oh, what if the toggles can be actually have different colors? So I did a research. I thought, oh, that made it actually quite easy to do. I had done a customization in the past for Gentleman in Scotland, but that was sort of really hard coded into it. So I've added in these sort of color options for the foreground, background, hover and stuff, using the same color pickers used in the themes. Now, because this color picker is only in the themes as a sort of a Moodle 2 thing, this isn't available in the 1.9 version, but I'm sure, given the fact you've just possibly seen Martin's keynote, that you will be jumping to 2.2, 2.3, or 2.3 anyway, so shouldn't be a problem. This is on a course-by-course basis. Okay, it is set up by some defaults I'll comment in a second or two, but once you set it, it will remember, so you can set your own courses, so each one looks different. I did mention earlier about language files. Quite a few languages, including Welsh. Now, my name is Welsh based. I am a quarter Welsh. It's not a joke. So I did actually add in Welsh. It does come from a sort of a Red Dwarf episode yonks ago, where Rimmer decides to surrender. It says we surrender absolutely, in all, and broadcast in all languages, including Welsh. So it got there: Welsh, German, English. Julian may have mentioned that he's now responsible for the English pirate language. I put that in. Moodle has its funny moments, it's fun, so, and after all, we're doing this for students, of all ages, so why not add in English? So add in pirate, and what happens that is when you make a mistake on there, it asks you to walk the plank. It's got, oh, thanks, Jane. Yeah, I think Julian's actually asked me to help him out with that as well. See if I'm going to do. There's also, because I added in the word colour, I've put in a US English to go to the other way of spelling. Some people, brilliant people, have been supporting me with the Spanish, and a gentleman called Luigi supporting with the French as well. If your language isn't listed and you want to convert it, just copy the English one, please, and convert it. And I really would appreciate it, and I add your name to the list of contributors in the README. Okay. All right, to show how this works, let's go back to the demonstration. So, share my screen and get the whole desktop for you. Let's go back to the course. Okay, in editing mode, that should have disappeared over there. In editing mode, you get sort of this icon top right hand here. Okay, that's sort of a spanner settings. In editing mode, in non-editing mode, you won't see that. Okay, so we can click on that, and you get that dialog, and says, right, oh no, right, for this course, we won't have no section number. In fact, no section number, and the toggle section X as well, and where maybe we'll make it to the latest week first, and perhaps, oh crumbs, we'll have a, let's go really gross. That really just emphasizes this. What's a manky? Let's go that colors. Okay, if you get stuck and you think, oh, that's really horrible, what was the default? You can just reset it to the defaults by just clicking on that tick box there, and it'll go back to whatever defaults you've set. And I'll come on to that in the next slide. You save the changes, like so. You can see really gross, but there you can see now, toggle was still there, but the section numbers disappeared, and the word topic or week has changed there. Okay, now I did mention it was latest week first. At the moment, in editing mode, that's in chronological order. Now the latest week is that week, according to the settings. By the way, the weeks are all set up on the course settings there. Okay, so we turn editing off. It will then pop up and put the latest week and then the previous weeks underneath, like so. So then your students will only see their latest week. They won't maybe perhaps get confused by wondering what's all coming up and stuff like that. That date there operates on the standard settings there. So as soon as it flips over to the next week, it will automatically then alter this form here. Okay, structure. You've got the open all and the close all, that's on both. Okay, right, next. What are we doing for time? Oh, plenty of time, good. Okay, so far so good. Is everyone okay? Too fast, too slow? Any questions for a little minute? All good, thank you, Shush. Right, fine, thank you, Jane. Right, next bit, because sometimes I'm right. Default configuration. Okay, so now what I've shown you, that's course basis. Now you may think, oh crumbs, I've got my own style I want this to apply to all my courses. So there is a default configuration. Now, it's really important to remember this will only apply to courses which have never used the collapsed topics before. So if they're in the topics format and you set the default configuration and you switch to collapsed topics, it will apply the default configuration, or to new courses. Existing collapsed topics courses won't have the default configuration, although I won't read from it unless you did that reset thing I showed you earlier. Okay, but it's good because it helps you. You can decide on what you want, the structures, the colors, and as I say, it does apply across all courses. In fact, that use the format, that only applies to that. It doesn't apply to topics or anything. It's purely just collapsed topics itself. There's one file which you edit in any plain text editor or an integrated development environment like NetBeans, Eclipse, or something like that that understands PHP files. Now, we're going to go quickly demonstration and see how easy that is to have an effect. So we'll go and share the screen. Okay, so the file itself is in the top core folder. There, and we edit config. Like so. Okay, really crucial, don't touch anything else like that. Okay, just change the values as I said there. So previously we had all the no topic X section week and section number, so let's change that to 4. Layout, maybe we want latest week first by default. Now previously it was just topic, so change what's to me 3s, and maybe want to change the code. So the default background color, maybe, let's try really, let's go something not quite black, so maybe, or 5A, 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 like so. Okay, one thing I have recently added in is the cookie consent thing. People in the European community familiar with the new cookie laws that are kicking in. Because collapsed topics does use cookies at the minute, there's a consent thing. Now, if you haven't got a consent thing on your main page and you need to do it on a per bit basis, you can just set this to true. I've got full details on the README file about that. There, you set that to true, and that will then apply. Okay, that will operate on existing courses as well, because it's really important, and that will be, I'll show in a second. Right, save that file, which I have done. Go back to here, so to do a new course. Now, if we do a refresh on the existing course, this won't change. However, that cookie consent thing has kicked in. So I put some English and sort of language there to explain all about it. I need cookies to remember the state of the toggle. So when you refresh the page, so if we click on that and you click on refresh, that will then collapse again because it hasn't remembered because we haven't given cookie consent permission. So we click on that and say, yes, I'm going to allow you to use cookie. Now there's no private data at all, but I looked it up against the law and I realized that my cookie did need consent, which is sort of rather silly, but there you go. Okay, save the changes. So now the implication of that is all it remembers is the fact that if you click on a toggle, you reload it and it reopens it. If you haven't put cookie consent on, it's back and forth. Cookies will be used by default. Okay, so to show the effect of the defaults being applied on a brand new course. I previously had courses when I switched to collapsed topics. Yes, it was those colors, it was a topic format. So just add a new course. So let's call this demo. Like so, short name of DD. Let's make this back in April there, and use their drop collapsed topics there. Save those changes, grab a little bit of water, go to the course itself, and we should find, hopefully, Yep, it's in the weak format, and we've got a slightly sort of different sort of color background there. In fact, the text color is not quite black, it's the one we actually set it to. And it's as straightforward as that. Really, really easy. And in fact, if we went to this one and forced it to use the defaults, so reset it, and we reset the defaults just by clicking there and then save changes. It then pops onto that. So it's another way of converting new existing courses. Right, next little bit. Right, so, right. Development changes, but it's a wordy bit. Development itself, I did use a thing called, where's my pointer gone? Green pointer, aha, there, got it. I developed progressive enhancement. I didn't know Moodle that well. I didn't know PHP. I have a sort of a C++ Java background, sort of really non-scripting type languages background. So I was gradually learning PHP as I went along. So I thought, well, I'll keep it really, really simple, straightforward. Initially, I didn't go near the database. I have gone now near the database, and I just progressively enhance it as people suggest things. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if this? Or I get some feedback. I developed it using trial and error. PHP doesn't have a brilliant debugger. There's debuggers out there, but it can be a bit tricky to develop for and work things out. So I tend to use Firebug, especially if I'm using Internet Explorer, because you can get a plugin for that a little bit, but it's just to work out what's going on with the CSS, because sometimes the things all muck up and bits and bobs and work out what's going on. I use these sort of print debug statements in PHP and alert statement in JavaScript. Tim Hunt did tell me about things called print object, so it's just a way of finding out what's going on. My main challenge is keeping pace with the core developments. You saw hopefully in the keynote how much has changed in 2.3. They always change them. It's all good stuff, but it does mean that because I'm sitting on top of their code, that my code has to change as well. So it takes a while to keep going bits and bobs. So really, really good code, but sometimes, oh no, it breaks. Like at the moment, my 2.3 version works, except for the fact that the Ajax bit doesn't work because I've really done a rewrite of that to make it really, really good. Other changes are maintenance and support. Say, oh no, this is broken, that's broken, or collapse topics doesn't work with this, and then discover it's a theme problem. But I don't know. You never know what's going on. I do tend to, well, lurk is the wrong word. On the collapsed, sorry, on the course formats forum, that's often the best place to a post of, oh, this is wrong, or this I'd like this, and I respond fairly quickly depending on what I'm doing. Also, new features. And so the color thing was added in really recently. Thinking, well, that'd be good. Released it a couple of days later. Somebody says, "Oh no, can you actually make it a better color picker?" So there's all good ideas. But they're the main challenges. They occupy most of the time. I do develop it for nothing. I do it in my sort of my free time that I have, and also I develop it to sort of keep myself on the board with PHP and to learn stuff. Okay. Where to find help. Key thing with my format is the README file. Okay, I've tried my best to keep a lot of information in there and FAQs and stuff. I don't think it is complete. I'd like it to have a bit more information, but please just let me know. The full details are on the iMoot thing, or just sort of PM me on Moodle forums. Okay, mainly, as I said, the course format. Well, not only that is a good place for me, but for the other formats. I think Julian's had some problems with the grid format, and I've been chatting to him about it. Good place to find things. If you're developing your own stuff or anything that's going wrong, or on Moodle Core, developer forum, I love the guys in there. They have been great to me whenever I've got stuck. I haven't been afraid to ask. Ask developers. Get a good response. Really good to help you. Okay. Books in general, PHP and JavaScript. There's an excellent set of books in Moodle Books. They're not only the ones from Packet Publishing and stuff like that, but really, really useful. There's an excellent book if you want to get really, really techy and you want to develop your own stuff and learn about PHP, called PHP in Action there. And you can see I put a link. I get a lot of my ideas from .NET magazine, as you can see. Subscribe to it, really useful. Think, oh no, this is what's coming up in HTML5. This is a new thing. This is maybe something for jQuery. I think my mobile theme in 2.2 uses jQuery. I know there's huge arguments with the developers about that, but I'll leave them to sort that out. Okay. Oh, just about the future. Right, where I see it going. I want to do improvements. I'd like a better color picker. At the moment, I'm currently using tables, which is evil in the HTML world for making the page improve. So I'd like to see that going maybe to using the lists more. HTML completely standards, even though the code I've got works and it works fine. Maybe individual course layouts. I know with the keynote that's maybe I've answered that. I know Julian's answered a previous question I had the conference of what's happening, can you move blocks around? Would it be more like WordPress? Could you have different layouts? Could you make it a bit funky, bit voodoo? Do you want multiple columns or stuff like that? Or I mean, I know I've got 4 different layouts at the minute. What other ones would be suitable for our learnings that like? I have briefly mentioned new 2.3 changes at the minute. That's going to be my next major headache, for want of a better word. I'm going to have to rewrite it because of those Ajax changes. Please be patient with that version. I will get it done, but I don't think I'll be able to get it done by the June the 18th deadline. And so forth. Moodle 9.9 development, I'm going to cease that, I think, now. There is a version there. The color thing isn't in there purely because of the color picker not working with it. And I'd love to hear about form and function. I always think that IT is a tool that can be used. For a better word, it needs to be used by people who are not technical people. So look at the ergonomics of it. If you think, oh, it should be done this, just drop me a line, mention it in the chat window or something like that. Whatever ideas you have, that'd be great. Okay, if you're keen and you love it and you really think, oh, I'd like to make my own course format, see how this works, and I know with 2.3, 2.4 things are going to change, and it's a bit scary, but if I show you 1 to 2.2, you can experiment, get it over maybe some fears you may have about writing PHP. Really, really straightforward. Okay, to do it, first thing you do, you got to choose a name, one that doesn't exist. Thought the other day, oh, crumbs, how do you find that one? Simple, you just look in the old plugins database, you look in the new plugins database. I'll put a couple of links on the this presentation's database page, course page. That shows you how you can find that out. It's all sort of the way of format underscore, or just choose a really wacky name. To work out a thing called the Frankenstyle. Not really Frankenstein, but who thought of that? Not it's the thing with all of public plugins, and there's a link there that tells you all about it. The best way, just like themes, is to copy from a standard format. So take what's there, build upon it. You change it to your name. You make your changes. You test it, which means there, sort of making changes, or you test, make sure it works. Sort of make it work on all browsers, including Internet Explorer. Then give it back to the community. Please be aware that this is all GPL code. So even if you think, oh, I want to protect it or something, yeah, it's right, fine, keeping it for yourself. Don't have to worry. But Moodle has the philosophy of everything that's published with it and integrates with it must be the GPL license. Therefore, you can't charge money for it. Right, a demonstration on actually how straightforward that is. So go to here. Now the aim of this is to make it look like the screen on the top right hand corner. And it pops in. So I've created a thing called iMoot topics. I'm going to poach some of the graphics and so forth. And I'm going to make it so that you've got the word instead of section number, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to have the word iMoot -0, and then all the way down to 10. It will have not a 0 in front of the 10, and so forth. As you can see in the image there, and you'll be able to see that. I won't see that as a going. So I'll show you how to do that. So share my desktop. Okay, go back to there. Okay, what I've done, I've taken a copy of the existing topics format and I've added a few extra bits. So I've just got a sort of a starting point, but you can just start by doing topics and it just makes it straightforward. So if I'm just going to extract all of this, but imagine you're starting from the topics format straight away. So take that from there. I'm going to rename this now. Really, really important. This folder name here must be 10 characters or less. Okay. Oh, crumbs, that didn't quite work. Let's cut that out of there. Might expand. So get rid of that. You won't have to do it. So you'll start off with a sort of blank sort of version copy of the topics format, like so. And all I've done is I've added extra, like a little bit of font files and images, and just might add that's something I'm going to copy in a minute, and some styles, just so this demonstration is quicker. Okay, a while ago I posted on one of the forums of actually how to do this. Took that the other day and I produced a list of instructions. This text file is available on my course that you got to come to this presentation with. All there, the files there. I think there's actually a file section you might see somewhere on your window at the minute. But anyway, it's all there on the course there. Right, so done the first bit. Copy the topics format and renamed it to iMoot topics. Full instructions there. First step, edit lead PHP so we can sort of get a thing called the callbacks working, so it's our format and not the topics format itself, otherwise Moodle will start getting really confused. It is worth mentioning at this stage, please do this on a not a sort of demonstration Moodle or your own practice Moodle, so you haven't got users using the system and you don't need to worry about maintenance mode or completely mucking things up if you make a complete and utter holics of it. Okay, so first thing to do was to edit lib.php. I'll show you how to do that. So in there, so the first step I said was to name it all reference to topics. So you can use search and replace, but I'll type it in here just to make sure it's straightforward. So we do iMoot there, iMoot, and what PHP is doing, it is looking at the underscores here to work out what's what. So it's taken the format underscore iMoot bit and then matching it here to iMoot topics here. It's at the format underscore iMoot topics there, and that's how it knows what's what, and it knows that this is the thing that polymorphs and overloads that function. It's not quite object orientated. There, iMoot, save it. The next step is on line 47 is to change the name of injections there to iMoot topics. Go to the top. This was trial and error for me to work out how to do it because these are all Moodle 2.x things. Okay, and if you try it and I think this isn't quite wrong, please let me know. Okay, so line 57. Now this 57, where are you? There. Okay. Now that get string gets it from the standard Moodle strings definition. That is telling it to get it from our language file because we're going to get the section name from there from our one. I'll come on to that in a minute, but we need to put that in there at this stage. Next thing, line 67 to iMoot topics, which matches the other thing on there. So iMoot topics, like so, those two matching up, hopefully there and there. Next section, bit line 67, sorry, 75. Just that one, see section 0 name, it's getting it from the format topics language file. We want it to get it from our language file, and that become a little bit more apparent in a moment. 77, going to take that. That's a section number that gets printed out. 7, which is there, so topic from section. So now we want to get it from our section name. We've got to change. Okay, Ajax is there. So next, okay, language file itself. So we're going to change that. So we go back to iMoot topics format, which is in the right place. Go there, format iMoot topics. Go to language and see English is in there. Format topics, that's the existing one. We now have to change it to ours, like so, and edit it. Okay, now so their section name there is topic. So maybe you want to call it something else. Oh no, it's still a topic, so we'll leave it. But the plugin name, which is really important to change, because that's in the drop down that you have when you select your course format. Section name 0. The general, maybe you want to call this overview, for want of a better word. This is all to do with the blocks, so we do need to change this in the, get the grammar right. I need to adjust this language strings like so. Right, next step. Yeah, we're done. I've just quickly done all those things there. So on the topic X. Right, really useful file in version PHP. So I go back to that. There. Okay, version. This is what Martin was mentioning in the keynote about the in upgrades and install and referring to the version and so forth for it picking up beta or stable or something. So the version of our format is not in there, so it's 2012. It may be the 29th somewhere. So it's the 28th here. Have I lost the plot? Yeah, it's still the 28th. That's lack of sleep. 5 to the 28th, and that's a version number. You could make it 1, 2 for the different days. You leave this version alone. That's for 2.2. If you're doing it for sort of 2.0 and so forth, all you need to do is to find out that is to go to the version file there within the actual Moodle core main root there, and that has a sort of version number there you can copy. Okay, so change that component to, because it's now not format topics, is iMoot topics. And now we can actually add in a few extra bits of useful information. Now, at the moment, this is a maturity beta. This is the thing that Martin mentioned about with the upgrading. So we get, I'll just kill that one and get confusing. Like so, time fine. That in, so it's beta. There is a document page about this with versions, which I don't think I put on my course, but I will do later before the day is out. On file. So it's useful also to give an idea of the version number. Really useful for the README. I update that at the same time as my README in the collapsed topics format itself. So just reference bits and bobs. Gives an also indication to people of, you know, is this really for a production site? Is it stable? How useful it is, so they can make a qualified, informed decision. Okay, that's all the changes we need to make. Then we're going to test it. Now, the one thing you would want to now make, that's in terms of making it, would now the actual format actually isn't different at all from the topic. So we're going to make a few little bit changes there. Now, it all works with 2.2 and below in the format.php file. Okay, in 2.3 that will change drastically, and as soon as I figure out what's going on completely and I update collapsed topics, I'll probably have a go around and make a screencast that does exactly the same thing and explains how to do that. Okay, so we edit that file like so. Now what I will put in is just, this file isn't red by the way, some borrows of this just saves rid of typing. That just imports that star sheet I pre-canned, but at this stage you'd go in and think, oh, I'll add in my own star sheet. I'll change a few things. There is a stars.css, but I decided just to put it in a separate file. Well, that was my decision. You don't have to follow that. Okay, mentioned earlier that in the top right hand corner of your screen you should have a image of what we're trying to achieve, and that was to get that word iMoot in the section. So we scroll down through the code. That's the general section there. That's section 0. Look in here, I'm going to find the actual line there. That is the variable which has a section number. So if in here the echo is sort of pumping the stuff out to the HTML, which then gets to the browser. So we type in there iMoot hyphen. I also mentioned about sort of preceding 0 if it's less than, if it's a single digit. So we can close that off. But if that section, and this is the variable that has that, is less than 10, open squiggly brackets, echo 0, like so, and I'll come, whoops, there, close brackets, echo, these are all started with PHP. Say that, you find that that section is a variable number there, like integer, that's been incremented as the page is being published and rendered for you. Okay, so that there, an echo is pumping it out to the browser. Okay, so now we've got all that in place. We're in that sort of that testing phase that I mentioned earlier. So we go back to our course, go to a pre-can course there. This I think should be in the topics format, which it is. No, whoops. Okay, it's actually quickly happened. All right. Okay, that was too fast to say. If we go back to maybe the demo one, which is in collapse topics, that'll be better for you guys and girls. Oops. So that's in collapse topics. Now the effect is now installed. Installed. I knew I've forgotten something. We need to go to site administration, notifications. Sorry about that. Notifications. It does a plugins check. Do this. In this case, there is no database. That's a little bit more complicated. And you can see there, that's where it's getting that data there to be installed. From that version file, click on upgrade. Like so, it installs. Okay, if you did hear a bang in the background, sorry, that's my neighbours being noisy. I have complained to their landlady. Right, go back to courses. Right, so edit settings, same as collapse topics. Okay, now this is the effect there of that language file change and telling the basic things in lib.php. So that's where it's getting that string from. That, in fact, it was a string called plugin name, and it will look for it by default as a part of the way that Moodle code works. Okay, and there it works. So now we've got the word iMoot there with the 0 on, the minus sign for there, and so forth. If we didn't like the hyphen minus sign, we'd change, change this and make this ... Save that. Fine. And go back. Refresh. It will work. Okay, and this is the beauty of copying the existing topics format, is most of the core code there that does Ajax and everything there already built in. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, so if we turn editing off, like so, brilliant. And there it is. Okay, cool. Go back to the presentation. So that's when we'll sort of give back to the community there. If you really like it, whatever you think about it, get some comments, get it out there. Everything sparks ideas. Okay, a bit of feedback, because we're sort of towards the end now. I've got some polls, some question answers. If you need to go off and make a cup of tea or something like that, thank you very much for attending and participating. I really appreciate feedback and ears of knowledge. That's my about.me. You can contact me through course format forum. I do have a closed Twitter because I don't want anything sort of spam coming in. Right, some thoughts from you, please. Okay. Whoops. Let's open. So first look, scroll of death. Do you think collapsed topics solves the scroll of death? Yes, 3. Very far. I do have, you might just notice at the bottom there's an improvements chat or something. You've got some thoughts specific about that. But no problem, Trish. I do try to make it as simple as easy as possible. Please feel free to revisit this. If you think of, oh, it would be easier if I did this, drop me a line and I'll have a look at it. Thank you. Fine there. Also give an idea. Do you find it easy to install and configure? Yes. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. There. Do you think 3, 4, 7 people in the room? Whoa, thank you, Jane. That's brilliant. Yeah, I did try to make it as easy. It was actually a conscious decision to make it as easy as possible. I completely realised, having worked with, I'd say, non-ICT teachers, that it needs to be dead straightforward, all the settings and everything like that. Maybe not so installation, but everything like that. Sort of see things from different people's perspective. Okay, is it easy to use? Do you think? Okay. If you got any person who said about food instructions, if you can tell me why, put it in improvements chat. I'll take account of what you're saying. Okay, too simple. It is designed to be simple. Again, if it is too simple, please tell me. Oh, I'd love it if it did this. It is designed to be used by a whole range of educators and to be really straightforward and almost intuitive. Thank you. There. Language I mentioned earlier. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. If we're willing to translate that, we appreciate. All you need to do is copy the English file, make the translation, send me. Brilliant. Just send me a copy of the new language file, and I'll put it in the next release. I won't be able to maybe check it, but I trust you on that. Thank you. Right, improvements. There. I would like to see. And there is a sort of, as I said, an improvements chat on the bottom there. More layouts if you've got an idea. Right, okay. I'm thinking maybe you're doing sort of a multi-column one for Moodle 2.3 onwards. So you sort of got 2 topics side by side, because now people have sort of large screens, large monitors. Actually thinking about that, talking is my mobile theme for 2.2. This format doesn't quite work with it at the minute, but I've got a Moodle tracker open with the guy who developed that called John ST. I don't know his surname, and that hopefully should be fixed soon. Okay, like so. Thing at the top looked like a slingshot. Oh right, that's actually meant. Sorry, James, that's meant to be a spanner. That's brilliant. Yeah. Is that only for that? Only appears on the screen when you're in editing mode. Because I wouldn't want to poach any graphics, I drew that maybe in there. If you want to improve it, I'd appreciate it. Hopefully, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Any more improvements there? Right. Last little bit, question and answer. There. Okay. I did muck around. That's an idea. The word improvements there. I thought maybe there was a previous version you could actually draw on this. Found you can't. If you want to put a question in the Q&A, please do, or just simply type in ideas there, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Oh, thanks, Trish. Just reading back through the comments, like the one you did with the smaller divider bars. Okay. Yeah, and you mean sort of the alterations to the smaller divider bars? Yeah, the removing some of the words. More modern. Okay. Right. I mean, I keep reading magazines and ideas and things, and I'll see what I can do. Sort of maybe toying with maybe having curves, sort of on the sort of not so square around the toggle. Thank you, Yvonne. Really, really appreciate it. I'll develop it and move along, and I don't really know who's using it. I get some good feedback. Modern with the smaller divider bars. Ah, right. Thank you, Trish. Okay, I mean, I really hope that was useful and explained in. I'll hang around in the room for a little while yet, answer any questions you may have. Wow, thank you, Trish. I say it might take a little while. What I am going to have to do for 2.3, I am going to have to take almost what I just showed you with the iMoot topics format and take it from there and reapply all my code to it. Regarding installation. Brilliant. Thank you, Jane. So it's that quick. Ah, superb. That's made my day. Thank you. Thank you, WL Wong. Cool. Thank you, Anna. That actually will push me along because I can procrastinate a bit in my life. Thanks, Trish. Yeah, hope they sleep well.
Let me quickly jump in and just say thank you once again, Gareth, for presenting, and obviously a hard act to follow with Martin there, but I think you did really well, and okay, very interesting again. Thank you.
Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast, Jane. Thank you, Chelsea.